Hello everyone, this is part 18 of What If Naruto Was in Rosario Vampire, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. A vampire, she whispered. She could not take her eyes off of him. He looked absolutely amazing to her. The transformation had turned him into an older, adult, Naruto. With his scars gone, he was the spitting image of the Yondaime Hokage, though of course she could not know that. Except for his fangs and eyes. To her he looked absolutely amazing, though she did miss the scars. He's beautiful. How did this happen? One injection shouldn't have been enough to turn you. He was very surprised to see her reaction. He'd expected her to be excited. Instead she seemed nervous, and maybe even a little scared. Mocha-chan, you're not afraid of me, are you? He walked over to her. No, of course not, but I don't understand how this could happen. Well, it's not like I'm an ordinary human, Mocha-chan. My body is used to transformation. After the blood you gave me saved my life, it was absorbed into my system. I slowly discovered I could change into this form. He reached out and touched her cheek. She closed her eyes and shuddered. What's wrong? His touch delighted her and fired all of her sense. I am sorry, Naruto-kun, when I gave you my blood I didn't mean to do this to you. Mocha-chan, what are you talking about? If you hadn't given me your blood I'd have SD. And having a vampire form is nothing but great. All my senses have expanded, especially my sense of smell. My speed and physical strength are off the charts. He frowned. Though the one drawback is that I can't seem to perform jutsus in this form. But, he was suddenly surrounded by his cloak. Four tails swung about. It seems a lot easier for me to draw out the Kyuubi's power. He held out a hand and created a small flame. Mocha slowly nodded. That would make some sense. Unlike a human, a vampire is naturally able to draw out and use demonic energy. And I think your jutsus depend on a human chakra system, which you don't have now. But I was able to use the Kyuubi's chakra before. She nodded. Right, when you were either human or in your half-human, half-yukai kitsune form. So you should have an easier time using your demonic abilities but an impossible time using your human ones. I expect the same will happen if you eventually develop a full yukai kitsune form. Interesting trade-off, he mumbled. His cloak vanished. I guess I'll have to keep using my kitsune form most of the time then. She looked at him carefully. So you can transform whenever you want. He nodded. So you haven't really become a vampire then? Not permanently. Thank goodness. I was afraid I had changed you. He looked at her in surprise. Would that be so bad? Me becoming a true vampire? He put his arms around her and felt her shaking. Are you scared of me? Mocha-chan, whatever form I take I'm still Naruto. I would never hurt you. She looked up at him. It's not fear, Naruto-kun. Do you want to become a real vampire? I can make you one, but it would be permanent. I wouldn't be able to make you human again, and I have no idea if you would still be able to transform. He thought about it. Not yet, but maybe one day. He smiled down at her. After all, you're going to be my wife. It would probably make life much simpler if we were the same. Being in his arms, feeling the power surging through him, she couldn't resist her urges. She reached up to grab his face and bring his lips down to hers. She gave him a smothering and eager kiss. Naruto-kun, take me back to my room. He couldn't help but smile. Well, I guess she's not afraid after all. He reached down to grab the toy fox and then picked her up into his arms and leapt off the roof to race back to her dorm. It would have been faster for him to transform and then cast a shunshin. But he definitely had the feeling that she wanted him to stay in his current body. XXXXXXXXXXX. So what did you and my mother talk about? Kurumu asked curiously. They were heading back to the festival even as it was beginning to wrap up. Nothing important, he said. She just told me she hoped everything between us worked well. She looked at him with sad eyes. Too bad it won't. With a regretful sigh she let go of his arm. Thank you, Naruto-kun, for spending all this time with me. You were wonderful, but since my mom's gone now you probably won't go. He looked at her. She wasn't being the bubbly excitable girl he was used to at the moment. Right now she seemed lonely, and the last thing he wanted was to leave her. He reached out and took her hand. Can we go to your room? He asked quietly. What? She looked at him in surprise and perhaps with just a tiny bit of hope. I just want to talk to you in private, he clarified. She slowly nodded. Sure. Whatever you want. She stepped close to him. Whatever you want. He put his arms around her and pressed her close. They disappeared in a swirl of wind and leaves. XXXXXXXXXX. The band was playing the final song of the evening and only a handful of couples were still there. She had her arms around his shoulders and was leaning against him as they slowly swayed to the music. Her eyes were closed and her head was resting on his shoulder. I've never danced with a boy before, Mizore said dreamily. It's nice. I'm glad you enjoy it. All too soon the music ended. The few remaining couples applauded as the band wished them a good night and asked them to return tomorrow. I guess this means the festival is over for today, Mizore said calmly. I guess it does. The two of them stood there as the other couples walked past. Mizore looked down shyly. How long could you last? I don't know anything about your magic. How long does a clone last? Well, it varies, depending how much chakra gets used to make one. Clones can last for days or weeks. But I usually set a time limit. This clone was set to last 20 hours. So that would be right around dawn. I guess. Would you stay with me until then? Sure. I'd be happy to. She looked up at him and a relieved grin crossed her face. In that case, she carefully took a hold of his hand. Let's go someplace. XXXXXXXXXX. The two of them were standing there staring at each other. I thought you wanted to talk, Kurumu said. He smiled and rubbed the back of his head. Yeah, I did. She swallowed and looked at him nervously. Can I ask you something? Sure. If you had never met Mocha, if she had never come here, do you think I could have been the one? He grinned at her. If I had never met Mocha, would you have even noticed me? Wouldn't I have been just one more of your puppets? Maybe at first, but I think I'd have noticed you when you broke my charm. He laughed slightly. The only reason I broke your charm was because I was already falling for Mocha-chan. If I hadn't met her, I would have been following you like the rest of the lemmings. Then I guess it's really thanks to her that I wound up falling in love with you. She let out a bitter laugh. So I guess I owe her my happiness and my sorrow. She looked away from him. Kurumu-chan, you know I care for you. You just care for Mocha more. He sighed. That was what it came down to in the end. No matter how much he cared for Kurumu, it was Mocha who was in his heart. Kurumu looked back up at him. Make me your mistress. What? Make me your mistress. She grabbed a hold of him and pressed her chest into his as she looked up at him pleadingly. I'll take whatever scraps you'll give me and I swear I'll never complain or try to come between the two of you. I'll give you anything you want, anytime you want, any way you want. I'll be your dirty little whore, your angel, your lover, your friend. I'll be whatever you want me to be. Just let me still see and be with you. Kurumu, stop it. He took her by the shoulders and pushed her away. I love Mocha. I could never betray her like that. Kurumu looked at him. You really love her. Yes, I really do. I love her and only her. I know. She could feel her tears coming but couldn't hold them back any longer. She'd been holding back her tears the entire day. It had been a sweet tea, being with him, laughing with him, enjoying all his attention, pretending to be together. All the while knowing it was just one huge lie and that in the end she would be left all alone. Unable to bear his accusing gaze, she looked down at the floor again. I guess you must think I'm pretty pathetic, huh? Kurumu, please. I mean, you only just announced you're getting married and here I am trying to convince you to cheat on your wife before you've even set the date. I mean, just how pathetic and desperate is that? Kurumu. Not to mention I'm going to Mocha in the back, again. I really am a horrible person. I can't think about anyone else. I'm totally selfish. I look at you and all I can think about is that you're going to leave one day. You and Mocha will marry and you'll go off to have a wonderful life together and I'll never see you again. And even though I know you love her and she loves you, I still want to ruin things between you because I can't stand the thought of losing you. I love you, Naruto-kun. I love you so much it hurts. I just want. Her words were abruptly cut off as he took her into his arms and held her close. I know, he whispered to her. I know you love me, I know. I'm sorry Kurumu-chan, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Feeling the warmth of his body and his strong arms around her let her tears subside a bit. Do you hate me? She asked in a small voice. No, I don't. I know what it's like to love someone. I know it can make us do crazy things, things that aren't always good. He took a breath. Am I really the only man you'll ever love? Yes, she answered him. You are my destined one and I can never care for anyone else. He looked down at her lovely face. I could really love this girl, but my heart is already spoken for. It seems that no matter what I do I can only hurt her. Even so he wanted to try and make her happy if he could, even if it could only be for a little while. We can kiss if you want. She looked up at him. Kiss. He leaned down and easily covered her soft lips with his. This clone, he whispered to her, has 8 more hours. If you want, I can spend that time kissing and holding you. Mocha said kissing was okay, so I don't consider that to be betraying her. I won't take off my clothes and I won't go any further than kissing, but if you want we can be together for that long. She looked into his kind face and smiled. Yes, I want it. Even if it wasn't real. Even if it wasn't what she truly hoped for the next 8 hours a piece of him would be hers. XXXXXXXXXX. The two of them were sitting on the damp grass by the pond where they had first met. It's a little chilly, do you want my jacket? Mizore smiled at him. The idea of a snow girl feeling cold was funny. That's okay, but if you want to hold me close to keep me warm that would be fine. He pulled her comfortably onto his lap and then wrapped his arms around her. Are you sure this is where you want us to stay? I can take us back to your room with the jutsu. She shook her head and settled comfortably against him. No, this is where I want to be. This spot reminds me of the day we met. I remember, you know I always sort of wondered why you like me so much. It's because you have a kind and gentle heart. He stared at her. Are you being sarcastic? She looked up at him in surprise. No, not at all. Mizore-chan, I am not kind or gentle. I mean I may treat you and my other precious people that way but that isn't my true nature. You saw what happened to Jin, and there have been plenty of other times where my true side came out. I'm really a very cruel person. No you're not. A cruel person wouldn't have taken the time to just talk to me. And I've watched you, I've seen the way you look at Mocha when you think you are alone with her. No one who was cruel could ever look at another person that way. You only act cruel because you've been hurt. How could you know that? He asked a bit stiffly. Because I was hurt once too. The difference is that you dealt with it by fighting, I dealt with it by hiding myself. She looked at him shyly. You know, I wish I could have you look at me the way you look at Mocha. Ah, you don't need to say it, I know you love her. I just wish it could have been me. Well, if I had never met Mocha maybe it could have been. Really? Why do you sound so surprised? You're sweet, kind, smart, brave, and very, very cute. You will definitely make some guy very happy someday. I wish it could have been you, she said softly. I wish you could have been the one I was bound to. What do you mean bound to? She looked at him consideringly. If I tell you a secret, will you swear not to tell anyone else? I give you my word. Sometime after I turn 17 next year I am going to have to marry and start having children. You are. Who's the lucky guy? I have no idea. Ha, she sighed. My race is slowly out. Snow girls can only have children from the time they begin their cycles until about their mid-20s. In order to preserve our race we snow girls must marry and begin having our families by the time we are 17. If I find someone I want to marry by then he and I can be bound to one another. But if not someone will be found for me. You'll be forced into an arranged marriage. Thoughts about his own situation and Hinata came to mind. What about love? For the sake of our race's survival we consider the duty to have children more important than personal happiness. But don't you want to be with someone you love? She looked at him and smiled sadly. We don't always get what we want. XXXXXXXXXXX. During the night he and Mizore stayed wrapped in each other's arms. During these hours they talked and the two of them opened up and shared secrets. She confessed to him how she had fallen for an older man and innocently mistaken his interest for something nobler than it really was. He had tried to do things she had not wanted and she'd been forced to freeze him in order to make him stop. He was a respected member of the community and when he told everyone she had attacked him he was believed. When she had tried to tell people the truth they had refused to believe her. After that she'd found it hard to open herself up and trust people. He had told her about Konoha and about what it had been like for him growing up surrounded by people whom hated him. How he had been all alone until he had finally connected with Mocha. Despite the different personalities they had something in common. They both knew what it was like to be all alone. Naruto looked up at the lightening sky. It'll be dawn soon, he glanced at his watch. My time is almost up. Do you know what I wish? What? He asked. I wish the world would end. She said calmly. I want time to stop and never start again. I want it to stay night and for the dawn to never come. That's a pretty extreme wish. He said wryly. I can't help it, right now I'm happy. She looked at him longingly. This moment you're with me and that's enough. Somehow they wound up kissing. He couldn't recall if he had started kissing her or if it had been her that initiated it. But kissing at that moment felt like the most natural thing in the world. The sun crossed the horizon and day began. Naruto could feel the energy in him begin to fail. It was not at all painful but he knew he was about to go. He carefully pulled her off his lap and placed her down on the grass. Mizo-chan, I want to ask you something. Would you want to be with me if I were just human? If I had no powers at all but was just a plain ordinary man, would you still want to be bound to me? Yes, she answered without hesitation. Come and talk to me after the festival is over. I will see you later, Mizo-chan. With a puff of smoke he was gone. XXXXXXXXXXX. The morning light was streaming in through her bedroom window. They were lying on her bed, both still fully dressed. They were still kissing. She seemed incapable of getting enough kisses from him. He looked at her clock and finally had to pull away from her. Don't go, she pleaded. I'm sorry Kurumu-chan, but it's almost time. She nodded, unhappy but understanding. Thank you for giving me this Naruto-kun, it meant a lot to me. All the time we were together with my mom and alone it meant a lot. I'll treasure these memories I swear. He hesitated but decided to ask. Kurumu-chan, if I were human and had no powers, if I were an ordinary man, would you still love me? Of course. You're my destined one Naruto-kun, no matter what. So you would still want to be with me? Yes, but why are you asking something like that? Come and talk to me after the festival. He leaned in and gave her one last kiss. I will see you later. He disappeared with a puff of smoke. XXXXXXXXXXX. The original Naruto opened his eyes. He'd gotten the memories of his two clones. They'd both had quite a night. Of course so had he. He quietly and carefully slipped out of Mocha's bed. He was still in his vampire form. He'd been worried that Mocha might have been afraid of him. Instead it had turned out she had just been very attracted to his new look. He had also discovered what S was like in a body with advanced senses. That alone was worth the trouble of becoming a vampire. With a little bit of regret he transformed back into his human form and quickly got his clothes on. Naruto-kun, where are you going? Mocha's sleepy voice called to him. Putting his jacket on he went over to her and kissed her. Good morning Mocha-chan, I'm just going back to my room, there's a special jutsu I want to take a look at. But what about the festival? She sat up, careful to cover herself with the blanket. You promised me you'd be my companion for the entire festival. He smiled and kissed her again. I haven't forgotten Mocha-chan, meet me outside my dorm at 9:45 and we'll spend the day together just like we did yesterday. Promise. I promise. Now I need to go, I'll see you soon in a little bit. He disappeared in a swirl of leaves and wind. XXXXXXXXXXX. In his room he took Yukari's book out from its hiding place and flipped through a jutsu he had remembered thinking he would never have cause to use. 70 years ago it had already fallen mostly out of favor, being considered too extreme and too costly to be worth practicing. Though he did not know it, the jutsu he was looking for had long since been forgotten and was no longer actively taught anywhere in the ninja lands. But it was in Yukari's 70-year-old book. Found it, he opened up the book and began reading. The doppelganger technique. XXXXXXXXXX. Two boss were lying on the floor in pools of blood. Neither body looked human. One had a pig's face and the other was reptilian in appearance. Monsters, Itachi said calmly. Who would have believed such a thing? It's not that big a stretch, is it? Kisame was wiping his massive sword clean. I mean, in a world where demons, talking summons, and Shinigami are all real, why not monsters? I must admit it is a perfect hiding place, an entire world separated from this one. And a world not easily reached. He was looking down at a bus schedule. It seems we are indeed fortunate. Well, it's about time we caught a damn break, we've been chasing him for 4 years. Itachi nodded calmly. Tomorrow. X. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.